you so much. Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome to everyone here. It's so good to be here and be speaking with you all today. Actually, as I say that, I realize that it's probably not even Friday for some of you yet, and probably not even morning, right? As we've got people from everywhere globally connecting with us today. So welcome and thank you for this opportunity. Before I start, I want to pay my respects to the traditional custodians of the land from which I stand and speak with you today, the Daruk and Aurora people, and I want to pay my respect to elders past, present, and emerging. As Ruth said, I am Nerissa. I am a speaker, a recent best-selling author of my book, Growing Through, and a life architect with a decade of experience in change and transformation. And I believe, and through life, I've learned that anything is possible when you can be yourself, believe in yourself, and back yourself. Yeah, three things. Be yourself, believe in yourself, and back yourself. Yeah, and I talk about this framework that I live by in my book, and I share it. But today I want to share with you something slightly different. But before I get to that, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the book. So the last time we jumped onto this platform, it was back, I think, in November or December, and I was still in the stages of writing this book. And I shared my story back then about how, I grew up in India, my life coming out, and how coming out transformed my life. And I released the book. It went on to pre-sale on the 28th of December. And within hours of being on pre-sale, I was completely blown away by this. But within hours of being on pre-sale, it went to #1 in Australia, #1 in India, and it's out on the best-selling list in UK and the US. And to say I'm blown away by this is just insane. Like, I'm so touched and humbled by the feedback and response that I have received. Just to know that my story is resonating with people out there, that people are connecting with this. Is just so humbling. And in order to give back, I'm holding a masterclass that I want to share with you my learnings on this book journey. It's an absolutely free masterclass. I'll pop the link in the chat. If there's anyone out there that has a story in their heart that they want to share and get out, then I welcome you on that journey to come and share with me. But today I want to speak to you about a fear that I had that controlled my life, that gripped me and kept me locked away. Can anyone guess what that fear might be? If you have a guess, pop it in the chat and let's see what your guesses might be. My fear was public speaking. I was petrified, terrified, right, of getting up and speaking in front of anyone, be it in a classroom, be it in a lecture, be it at work, be it in front of an audience. I would feel like I was so scared that I would physically feel it, right? My legs, I could feel my knees knocking, right? I could feel your palms getting sweaty. I could feel my chest pounding, right, inside. And when I went to speak, my voice just wouldn't come out. I would just lose my voice speaking, right? And for years, I struggled with this, and it wasn't something that happened overnight. It was something that I struggled with as a kid. Yeah, I grew up in a city called Calcutta, all the way back in India in the 1980s. And growing up there, I was this scrawny little kid that sat in the back bench of a classroom, unable to be heard, unable to speak. I was so scared to even read out aloud because of what other people thought of me, because I thought I was being judged by other people, by other people's limiting beliefs of me. And those limiting beliefs carried on with me into university, into the workplace, where I found myself sitting in a room where I knew the answer to a question being asked, but I was so scared to even put up my hand and respond. Scared because I was held on by those limiting beliefs of other people. Yeah? You probably all heard a quote that Jay Shetty often uses by Charles Cooley, where he says, "I'm not what I think I am, and I'm not what you think I am, but I am what I think you think I am." Yeah, And let that just sink in for a bit. Because so often we as people are governed by other people's fear. Yeah, all this stuff that other people put onto us is what we start living by and we start believing. Yeah, but when we can step out and when we can stand in our own truth and be congruent with ourselves, then things shift and you can really, really see transformation. But I want to share with you what a few steps that I took in that process of overcoming that fear, right? When we think about fear and overcoming fear, we often think about that big picture, right? So if you think in the space of public speaking, you're like, well, I'll never be the Tony Robbins up there speaking to all these hundreds of thousands of people, right? And that's what you think is a place where we need to start from. But I say start small, right? Don't think about that big picture. Think about that small picture. When I first started, I spoke to 2 people, then 5 people, then 10, then 100, then thousands. But build it from a place where you feel comfortable, a safe place where you start and then you grow. The other thing that I've learned along the way is to not let your first time be your last time. Don't let your first time you try something be the last time you try it. Because if I stopped speaking the first time I did it, and honestly, I can share with you on this open and honest platform, I sucked. I was terrible. I was so nervous. I was so scared. I didn't know what words were going to come out. And I was terrified about what feedback other people were going to give me. What were they going to think about me? Right? But when you can put all that aside and just go, it's all right. I'm just going to try this. Yeah. And just go in from a place of just being able to learn, being able to learn from those mistakes. Yeah. Mistakes are often the platform that we learn to grow from. If we made no mistakes in life, we'd never move forward. We'd never learn. So allow yourself to make those mistakes in the journey and learn through that. Allow yourself to take feedback on. Yeah, I took feedback on from people that I trusted, people that backed me and believed in me, and I was able to then grow along that journey. So I want to share with you 3 things today that I do before I get onto a speaking platform. We're all here, we're all learning, we're all growing through this platform. And I want to share with you 3 things that have helped me and I hope will help you too. The first thing I do is to get in the zone, right? And we often think about when we're going to speak, we often think about, well, how much time do I have? And okay, I've got 15 minutes. What am I going to pack in those 15 minutes, right? And we often think about our time on stage. What I'm asking you to think about before you even get up there is your time before that, before you jump up on stage to get in the zone. And here's a few things I do, right? Number one, I have a track that I play, right? You can meditate, you can do whatever it is that you want to do, but I have music that I blast up, and irrespective of what the presentation is, whatever hour of the day it is, I play it and it gets me back into the zone, right? The second thing is have a power pose. You probably all heard the Amy Cuddy TED talk on how important power poses are. Yep. So stand, and I know sometimes you think, oh, how is standing in a certain position going to make me speak better? Trust me, when you get up and you stand up and you stand in that position, whatever that power position might be, right? And accompany that with a sound. So my one, I go like that and I go, yeah, yeah. And when I do that a few times to get me into the zone and to shut out everything else that's happening around me before I get in. Yeah. The other thing I do is warm up. Yeah. So often we see all these athletes and people that before tournaments, you'll see them all warming up. Yet when we come on to speak, we just turn on the camera and we go, all right, I'm going to try and do this. Yeah. But warming up is so important, like getting all of our muscles here moving. And I do funny things, like I'll get my tongue to move all around my mouth. Okay. Like, let's do this together, right? Go. It looks crazy, right? But it's okay. It works. Do it all around. Swirl it around. I do things where I say words that I struggle with saying. So I talk a lot about inclusivity and authenticity, and I often struggle with those words. So before I go on, I'll just go through them a couple of times and say them. So when I get up, it comes out a little better. Yeah, I'm not going to say I nail it every time, but it comes out a little better each time I do it. Yeah, so always take time to get in the zone. It is so important before you go up on stage to get in the zone. Yeah. Number 2 is focus on the audience. Yeah, the audience are key, not you as a speaker. Often as speakers, we think about, how am I going to stand? How am I going to appear? What angle is best for so my double chin doesn't show? What am I going to say? What am I going to do? Yeah. But I tell you, focus on the audience. Yeah. We hear the what's in it for me. Let's change that and put it to the what's in it for them. Yeah. What is my audience going to get from me when they leave? When they leave after I've spoken, what are 3 things that they're going to take away with them? Yeah. So focus on the audience. It's about them, not so much us. But when we serve the people that we're speaking to, when we are able to address what our audience wants, then you as a speaker and I as a speaker have ticked already what we want to get, right? Because it's all about the audience. And number 3, focus more on the how and less on the what. Yeah. Now, research tells us often that the how you say something, the delivery, is a lot more important than the content. And this has changed over time. Back in the day, everyone said focus on content, get your content right, your material down, and nail that. But over time, and as we go more virtual, even and speak, it's so important to speak about the how, the delivery, right? So if I just showed up today and I told you, well, the cow jumped over the moon, you guys would be like, all right, so big deal, it jumped over the moon. But if I told you today, get ready, right? So all these cows are going to try and jump over this moon, right? This moon is insanely big. It's huge, right? Let's going to see who makes it, right? And all the cows tried and they failed. But then there was this one cow, yeah, Cash, there's this one cow that thought that it could make it over the moon, right? And it ran and it leapt. And wait, it goes over and it's landed, yeah? And then all the other cows out there exploded, yeah? You believe me that that one cow made it over the moon, right? And you'd want to know more. So there's so much difference in how we deliver, yeah? In tone, in pitch, in ensuring that our sound and our picture match when we're delivering something, yeah? So I hope that this has been helpful. So the 3 things I'd repeat is 1, get in the zone. Always before you get up, get in the zone. Number 2, focus on what you're giving the audience more than focusing on yourself. And number 3, focus more on the how and less on the what. These are 3 things that have really, really helped me in my speaking journey. And I hope that it's given you something to take away today. But before we can even get to any of that, we've really got to focus on ourselves, right? Starting from within, right? Like a lot of people on this platform have spoken about today. It all starts with us, yeah? We've got to love ourselves, be kind to ourselves, and then put out and then be with others. So start from a place of being yourself, believing in yourself, and backing yourself. And when you can do that, then anything is possible. And that's when you can start growing through. I would love to connect with all of you. If we're not connected yet, I'll put a link in the chat. Please, let's connect and let's continue this conversation. Thank you. And I wish you all an incredible, incredible summer.